What happened when I embraced how to invest in myself? Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keels Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 99 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com. What happened when I embraced how to invest in myself is an episode that's going to help you, especially if you have ever had to look at yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, like, am I worth making this investment in myself? If you have ever struggled with that question or are currently struggling with that question or know someone who's currently struggling with that question, then this episode is going to be helpful. Why? Because I am that guy. I've been there. I've done that. And I've understood now not only what happened to me when I embraced how to invest in myself and doing that first, but also recognizing how it not only helps me, but it helps those that are around me and making a positive impact. And so I want the same thing for you. Because what can happen, especially if you are someone who is a recovering perfectionist or even a perfectionist, like I know that right now I am a recovering perfectionist because I have these perfectionist tendencies. You can very easily get caught up in paralysis analysis and always looking for all the lights to turn green before you push go or push your foot on the gas to go. So you can get stuck in this, like I did for the first probably 5 years, where I was looking to get started. I wanted to get started. So I consumed more videos because I was going outside of my corporate constructs. I watched more and more videos. I read more and more books. And so many books gave me all of the theoretical knowledge, and all of the videos and all of the podcasts, just like this one, gave me all of the inputs that I needed to be a theoretical ninja. So I was, if you ask me any question, I could give you any response. And even though early on I also had some positive results going outside of corporate in the venture that I was looking to do, which was investing in, I've talked about that very publicly here, investing in real estate specifically, and then gaining some early traction. There was even moments that, things weren't going well. Like I lost 25 grand because I didn't take the time or invest the time to actually go through an inspection report. I believe I've done a video on that, if not, or a podcast on that. If not, that's something that literally has its own podcast because there's so many lessons to learn from that. But the reality is going through all of this, kind of all of these things that were happening in the background, got to a point where I said, hey, look, I actually just want to be able to make money through investing. Like I wanted to make money through investing. And that was like the real thing that was happening. But kind of secretly, the thing is, I just wanted to have more control over my calendar. And I knew that I could do that if I was able to generate predictable income, even during my 9 to 9, right? Because with the 9 to 9, I was continuing to experience success, was still in the Catalyst program, which is top talent for a lot of other companies. That was going on at the office. So I was closing big deals. And also my portfolio, my investment portfolio was increasing. So I mentioned before, was looking to increase it over the span of 5 years. And fortunately for me, that was able to happen in a year and a half. There was also the thought that, there's the fear of losing money that comes with that as well. And then there's this real life constraint, which is there's only 24 hours in a day. And that is what catches most of us. And you may have felt this stress. You may have felt this pain because there's only 24 hours in a day and you want to do so many things, accomplish so many activities, and you have to just work with the reality that there's only 24 hours in a day. And so I realized that I could continue to burn the candle at both ends, having corporate success at the same time, being able to plod along, even though I was faster than I thought. Once I got to the 10, then I had to come up with a new plan. And that new plan was to increase, but I still had the same constraint of 24 hours in a day. Eventually, I came across somebody that was an online person. Through this online person, I ended up following him. And because he was on the left coast of the US, the time difference was a little bit of a challenge initially, but then afterwards, so many things were online and things were recorded, and was able to start to realize that even though someone was so far away and not in the same location that I was, and this is all pre-pandemic stuff, by the way, this is back in 2015, 2016, actually even 2014, kind of get started following. But I had the same concerns, right? I was thinking, all right, well, what happens with time zones as we got closer and closer, and I started consuming more of his content and moving closer and understanding like, hey, listen, this guy's done something that I want to do. I want to actually get closer to his world. So what happens, just like any high achiever, I sat down and I said, all right, well, I got to put a plan together because there's only 24 hours in a day. I'm continuing to enjoy my corporate life, although the candle was burning at both ends and I was having some success outside. And the books that I was reading and the videos that I was watching and the podcasts that I was consuming, I was still doing them, but they became less relevant because I started to understand that I needed more than what was just being delivered in the bite-sized videos or chunks of the podcast. And so I wanted to experience what I wanted to do in a very individual way, because that's just what I got used to, right? I don't want to wait. I didn't want to wait for a lot of other people to ask their questions. I wanted to learn what I wanted to learn, and I wanted to get responses sooner because I wanted to get to this goal, this next growth goal. And so as I continued to have opportunities to get closer to this particular individual, I ended up moving forward and ended up purchasing different products. And so as I purchased these different products, eventually I got to a point where it was, okay, well, I've consumed as much free content as I can. I have taken classes. I've done this like learning kind of environment in a really great environment, right? But I needed faster responses and I wanted to move forward and refocused on me and what my individual issues were. Now, once I started talking about, hey, listen, this is an opportunity to invest in someone who's going to help to coach me one-on-one, that's when all the issues started happening, right? Because up until now, it was just me. I was struggling. Now, of course, had extra stress because I didn't know what I was doing. It was the first time I was doing this new thing. And of course, as a high achiever, I wanted to figure out how I could do more, how I could do more, how I could do more. And I just got to a certain point, was like, you know what? There's only 24 hours in a day. I want to excel at home. I want to excel at the office. I want to even excel in this new venture. How can I fast track and get to the point that is being able to generate income so I could have more control over my calendar, ultimately, is what I wanted to be able to do. So when I started talking about doing coaching one-on-one, then this is what started happening, right? Because this was almost a 6-figure investment. I was going to invest in myself, and all of the normal thoughts came. Number one, why would I want to do something like this? I've always achieved everything on my own. I've always been a high achiever. I've always been able to get to whatever the goal is. Why would I need to go ask somebody else when I have a proven track record of being able to achieve the things on my own? Well, it wasn't that I needed somebody else. I wanted somebody else. The fact that the person was long distance, that they were far away, they were 9-hour time difference. Like, how is that even going to work? This was, once again, pre-pandemic. So all of these thoughts, all of these fears, like, why would I not do this? And then even had family members say to me, hey, look, man, how would you need that? You don't need this. You've never needed anything like this. You're the guy that other people come to. And so the reality is, once I took a step back, I started to realize that, you know what, this wasn't about something that I needed. Of course, I didn't need to do it. I could have continued to go to the day job, work the 9 to 9, which was getting longer and longer, at home, younger kids, being able to be at work, to be at home, and then also to be able to build this business on the side. And I thought to myself, well, I don't really need to do it. I could continue to live this life and the lifestyle. But you know what? How about I focus on me? Let me get my questions answered. Let me get my challenges, my obstacles that are in the way, and have someone who's been there before help me to address these issues. Because if I can address the issues faster, then I can get to the goal faster. And so once I got through and got myself, just got out of my own head, I got to a point to realize, you know what? The thing that I wanted to be able to do was just embraced being able to focus on me. And being able to want and be okay with wanting to have a guide, wanting to have someone to assist me move forward. So, although I went forward, decided, hey, listen, this is going to be a one-year program. I went to a 1-year program. And you know what? The reality was I had these objectives that we were supposed to achieve. Now, I'm going to be very transparent with you as well. Did not achieve the objectives that I was supposed to achieve. Can you believe that? Like, I made this massive, almost 6-figure investment in myself and still didn't achieve the goal, which is what we set out to do, the objective. So that whole question of, is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Well, I didn't achieve the goal in the time frame that we said that the goal was going to be achieved. But you know what? What I realized is that I learned so much from that whole process of being able to say, hey, listen, I am going to embrace how to invest in myself and do that first, because since then I've repeated the task. And when I put myself first and I invest in myself first, not because I need to, but because I want to, because I want to learn from other people's mistakes, other people's failure events, and other people's experience, it helps me fast track to get to where I want to go. And even if I don't get there, like I didn't get there this first big major investment that I made in myself, I realized that there's value in learning from other people's past mistakes, past failure events, because I was able to avoid other issues. Not all issues, but other issues along the way. And I was also able to face my own demons as it related to investing in myself, having myself realize that I can do the work, that even if the program is not this perfect program, I can still learn, I can still move forward. And I learned the process specifically on what I wanted to do and how I want to be able to work. So the reason that I share this with you is there is consistently, and this is a high achievers issue. Most high achievers that I continue to speak with and come across with, there's this desire to not want to look or ask for help. And once again, it's not because you need it, it's because you want it. I didn't need it. I wanted it. I wanted to fast track. I wanted to be able to have more control over my calendar sooner. And that's why without having all the perfect information, I didn't have every single stoplight being green, but I was able to make the decision to move forward. Was it perfect? Did I accomplish the goal? I just mentioned to you, I didn't, but I learned so much more. I learned that it was about being able to face the challenges, look at myself in the mirror, be able to overcome that, and recognize that through this whole process, it's helped me to be a better leader. It's helped me to be able to build other types of dreams faster, more efficiently. And that's just what I want to share with you. Because if I went through that, I'm sure that you're going through that. And rather than trying to do everything yourself over and over and over, it's like the Albert Einstein that I said in the beginning, if you're looking for new results, why continue to do the same old thing? If you want to get there faster, if you want to get there more efficiently, if you also want to build networks, learn and draw from other people's experience, there's a lot of value that comes into embracing being able to invest in yourself and being able to invest in yourself first. So if it's not you, I'm sure that you know somebody who's going through this, who's sharing their ideas with you, because I wasn't keeping this in a vacuum. Like I was sharing with other people. I was thinking about doing this. I was getting that feedback, which was not the feedback that I wanted to hear, but people that cared about me were caring about me and worried that what I was going to do wasn't going to make sense. But I knew that I wanted to do it. And so I appreciate them for sharing their thoughts, sharing their opinions. And you may be that person, or you are that person for someone else. So take today's episode, share it. But then don't just leave it there in theory. Get behind them, talk, share with your friend, with your family member, whoever it is, and go from theory to practice. It's really, really important. And while you're doing that, guess where I'll be? I'll be right here preparing for the next episode. So until then, go out and make it a great day. And thank you very, very much. Today's episode is sponsored by Billy Keels Advisory Services. If you want to learn more about how to make your 9 to 9 optional, just go to makeitoptional.com. Once again, that's makeitoptional.com.